Hello everyone, welcome to a new live. So on this live we're gonna be doing just one resume review from someone who was kind enough to send a resume, and now we'll take a look at that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so I think we're live. I'm just gonna share the link, and then we can begin. Mm, Alrighty, I think we're good to go. Just trying to figure something out here. Okay, yeah, I think we can begin. Yeah. So basically, the resume that we're gonna take a look at today looks like this, and I'll put it here. So as you can see, this is like okay, excellent condition. Okay, yeah. So this is the resume that we're gonna be taking a look at, and uh, basically, basically, we're just gonna dive right into this. Some of the things that I wanna point out here is, like, if you look at the spaces, right? So just look at the spaces. I think you can add some spacing, some padding on the sides, and also top and bottom. You see, it's a little bit too tight. You see, it's almost. I mean, it's all the way there. I know you're trying to maybe, trying to put as much content as you can without going into another page, which that's ideal and that's fine. That's completely fine. It's just that I don't know. It just looks a little bit. It just doesn't have any styling when it comes to that, right? So I don't know. I think you should have some spacing. At least that's an opinion here. But like, yeah, it's really up to you if you want to change it. Um, yeah, that. Let's see what else. The format, it's fine. You won't have any problems with ATS systems because they will run your resume, and then since they just go line by line, so then you should be fine with that. It will pick up everything here, I think. And let's see what else. It's well organized. We have the skills, experience. So a red flag here is like the education section, right? But I talked to the person who submitted this resume, and he doesn't have like a formal education, so uh, there is nothing that he can add. So he doesn't have a formal education. I think he has like an associate's degree, so then he could add that. But at the same time, he's tried before with an education and without an education, and he mentioned that's better without an education, and that he doesn't get asked too much about that. So if this is like a trial and error thing, so if it works for you, so then just keep doing what you're doing, right? So if it works without an education, then go without an education. I would recommend adding an education. I think that's important. Of course, if you don't have it, that's fine. But like if you have an education and you just willingly don't want to add it, then it's kind of different, right? But like if you do have an education, then try to add it. Okay. All right. So that's one thing that would go at the top. So that would go here if you were to have one, and then maybe the skills, or maybe the skills you can move them at the bottom. In this case, it's good that you have the skills up there because that's what you are, right? So you have those skills, those skills, and they take up the space that you have for education. So instead of education, you have skills, okay, which is most important. than, it's kind of more important than having education. But yeah, education is still like a thing that's that you need nowadays. So they actually look at that and say like, okay, you have education, so we'll give you this and that, and that's just how society works, right? Okay, so yeah, let's see what else I have written down here. We have well organized, strong bullet points, good use of keywords in the bullet points, and good format to list work experience roles. Like the company, you have the company here, you have the position or the role, the dates, that's clearly here. You have it says remote, so this is good because you're saying that it's a remote position, and if you were to have like a location, then you'll give that location, okay? But yeah, that's good. Okay, so that's what's fine about this. Let me just share this link. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's basically that. And let's see what else. So some of the suggestions. So basically, add some spacing on all sides, so the content looks too stretched out. That's what I've written here. And if you want to use Resume Boost AI, which is a resume builder, you can just go here, and you can also fix that, so you can go all the way down, and here you have like this high padding. So you see it looks better if you have some padding. And wide, see, that's I guess too much padding, so you don't want to do that. But it looks good. But yours looks a little bit like, it's not even this one, like 10 maybe. It looks something like this, and even this one has more padding, right? So I just want to show you here. So 8, yeah, or let's put 6. Okay, see, this is how yours looks, which is a little bit too, like the content is stretched out a little bit, or maybe a lot. So yeah, you see how it will look in a PDF format, and this is kind of how yours look. See, even this one has more padding, but like, see. So yeah, so I mean, it's fine. I would say add some padding, it just looks a little bit better. So let's say that we put like the narrow one, and then download, and let's open this one. You can see that this looks a little bit better, or I don't know, in my opinion, it looks better. You can see that, see? Yeah, so try to go with the padding if you can, okay? So that's that, and that's almost like the main thing here. All right, missing education section, so we talked about that. It's super important, so if you have it, it's fine, just you can add it, but like if you don't have it, I understand. Okay. Okay, so this one here, there's like one line that actually didn't sit well with me, I could say. I mean, it's just like a joke, of course. I'm not reviewing your resume. I'm not like a hiring manager, right? But yeah, so this line here, so served as a SME for setting up the dev environment, onboarding 60 plus engineers to Amazon workspaces and guiding them through setup and configuration within the first 3 months of joining. Sorry, this is like a different sentence. Within the first 3 months of joining leadership, recognize my impact. Yeah, so this could come across as bragging or showing off. I wouldn't add it if I were you, just because it looks like, okay, they recognize me because I did this or that. And I don't know, it doesn't sound good, right? It doesn't sound something that you want to have in your resume. So maybe you can expand on some of the things that you did instead of having this line here. So if I were you, I'll just remove that line, okay? And then for the other lines, I think they're good. Usually I don't use this, like end the sentence and be like, oh, utilize this. Maybe, I mean, it works, I think it's fine. But you can maybe blend in some of the things here. So like led technical debt reduction efforts by removing hard-coded values in Java, see? So that's one way to include Java in here. Avoiding code repetition, streamlining updates, and enhancing performance with Scala and Bash as well, or something like that, I don't know. But yeah, just try to blend it in more naturally, right? Okay, contributed to, so we talked about this one. I think I sent you one as well. So contributed to an API review committee, collaboratively reviewing and approving API designs. So here, in order to use more or to make it like you have more keywords, I would say approving REST API designs, or just API and REST API designs to ensure alignment with coding standards like, Agile. What else? There's another one, but yeah, you can do that. Say that, like Agile, and in industry best practices in CI/CD or something like that, like continuous deployment, continuous integration, continuous deployment. Yeah. So you can just sprinkle like another a couple of keywords in there, and it's gonna make it better, I guess. Okay. And establish a standardized process for commits. So here, what I would do here, I would say, once again, this is up to you because I don't know what you use, right? But I would say, I would try to be like, okay, establish a standardized process for commits, branches, and documentation by implementing GitHub pull request templates and Git hooks, or by implementing GitHub automation with pull request templates and Git hooks, improving consistency in tracking across services and clients, using AI or something like that, right? I don't know exactly which tool you use, but like if you use something like that, just try to put in more like keywords, okay? And let me see something here. Okay. Alright, give me a second here. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. I might have to edit this out. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's continue. Sorry about that. Yeah, and maybe we can go back and maybe zoom out a little bit. So let's just look at the name here. So the name, it's fine. Yeah, so we'll just put Josue, right? But we don't give out the full name. Okay, so that's the name. So that looks good. That's fine. The telephone number, the email, the GitHub. Maybe you can get rid of the labels here. It doesn't hurt either. Yeah, GitHub, LinkedIn, website, that's good. You have a website, you have a portfolio. If you're a software engineer, that's essential, so that's good. Once again, we talked about this is fine. Programming languages, maybe here, if you have more, you can add more databases. Maybe here you have space to add more things. So like if you did more things, or you want to pick up some new skills or anything, just go ahead and add them here, right? Okay. And languages, that's good. You have like a lot of languages here, so that's also like a good thing to have. Okay. We talked about that experience. That's something that stood out. And maybe let's go back to this now. So yeah, so I would try to blend in more keywords. Yeah. So another thing that I had. Sorry about that. One second. Okay. So let me just send this message. Okay. So I think it should be good. Okay. So yeah. So another thing that I had an issue with were the bolding here. So the bolding of the words. So here you have some of them, and I understand maybe it's because they're keywords, right? So this is fine. But then I see that you also have this one here. So yeah, I wouldn't bold that. A standardized process, I wouldn't do that either. Maybe this is fine because these are like terms that GitHub like uses. These are like you can say trademark terms that GitHub have. So they like it's like copilot and stuff like that, right? So that's fine. Here, like 10 plus services, maybe you're trying to be like, okay, this is the impact that I have, so if it's important, I just bold it, right? So that's what I understand, right? Here, once again, you have the skills. So this is fine. Yeah, so only for those, the ones that you have up here, I would try just to remove it for these words because they don't have anything to do with it, or they're not skills, right? But once again, it's really up to you in the end. Okay, and build, yeah, so there is like one bullet point that I really liked a lot, which it was, let me find it, I think it's build the backend service. Where is that? Build the backend service. Build the backend service. Here, this one here. See? Build the backend service automating candidate intake using Node.js, Airtable, HackerRank APIs, and MongoDB. See, that's a good one. And you can even expand more on that one. Be like, build the backend service, the automating candidate intake by, I don't know, taking the resumes, reviewing them, and setting up like a like a HackerRank API, and then like a leaderboard to see which candidates were better than others, or like measure up like which candidates were like ideal for the job or something like that. I don't know what you did. Once again, you can just expand on this one, because if you built a backend service automating all of this, I mean that's like a huge task. Or even if it's not like a huge task, that's like a mid-sized task that you can talk about it like a lot, right? So that's what they like. So just try to be more, like you can expand on that one. That's what I'm just trying to say. Like there are some bullet points that you can expand. You just have to try a little bit harder on what you did, right? Say develop a Python-based web scraper and database storage service using Python and MongoDB, okay? That's good. But another example here. So if you are using, let's say that you, from what I've done, right? So this is from personal experience. From what I've done, I see and I've seen and I know that for like web scraping and stuff like that, you use Selenium, right? Which is like a Python library. So you can also mention that one because that's another keyword. You can say like pandas, right? Like the library pandas.df. Or you can say, and pandas, that's super popular, so that's another keyword that you can add here. So you can expand on that one. So you can say like develop a Python-based web scraper using pandas and Selenium, to open browsers or automatically or something like that and get data from here and that. So you can expand on the bullet points that you have here. So there is like a lot of potential here to be tapped on, okay? And if you have to maybe remove this one here, or maybe just leave like one line for this one and then try to expand on others, that's completely fine, okay? Because I see some of these, you have a lot of them. So this is just like doing Git, right? This one I would say is just like more like doing Git, right? Just like establishing a process to do Git, to do commits and all of that. But that, all software engineers do that, right? So you can maybe remove that or not. Yeah, or this one, this is just like, removing hard-coded values that looks like you were just replacing values and stuff like that, and which is fine, it's completely fine, but, maybe it doesn't have the impact that you want them to see that you had, right? So, or to think that you had, okay? So maybe you can remove some of them. It's really up to you. If you really like them, just keep them the way it is. This is fine. Okay, engineers. Yeah, exactly. Here you can, expand on some of these. And if you already mentioned like Java, maybe just try to mention like a different keyword. It won't hurt, just because you already have Java. And if you put it through an ATS system, it's not gonna. I mean, maybe it'll count like the names of. Like if a word repeats, right? So it will count like, okay, Java repeated like 3 times or something like that. But if you already have Java, then you most likely are gonna, match if the job requires Java, right? But you don't need to have it 3 times for it to match, okay? Because this one is heavy on keywords, right? But you can maybe, instead of having some of the same, maybe you can add new ones, right? That you used as well, but you don't remember now or something, I don't Develop new pages and routers based on design specs. Use no. See here, I don't know if you did this or not, but easily you can be like, develop new pages and routes based on Figma designs. Figma is super popular. That's another keyword. And if you're doing front end and stuff like that, they'll want you to know how to read Figma designs and how to translate them to code. Okay. So just some examples here. This is just, I'm just thinking maybe you can add those things, but I don't know if you want to add them or not. Guide the new engineers through onboarding, local setup, and tool access, providing ongoing support, and ensuring had resources in the role. See, so this guiding new engineers, that's more like they were doing shadowing, right, or something like that, or maybe you were just doing onboarding like an HR person. So maybe you can remove that one because that one doesn't add too much to your role as a software engineer. You know what I'm saying? So maybe you can remove that one, but it's really up to you. Once again, up here, I'm not here to say like remove this or that. I mean, I can just give a suggestion, but it's really up to you. And I say this because on my resume, if someone says like, okay, remove that, and I'm like, okay, but I think that's important. So then, it's kind of subjective, like when you have like so much experience and stuff like that and what you've done. So yeah, okay. What else I have written here? Yeah, another thing that I've written down here is that maybe you can sacrifice some of the bullet points for other bullet points, or to expand on other bullet points. But yeah, it's really up to you which ones you wanna sacrifice. And I see a good use of keywords. However, some of them repeat too much. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was saying. I think that's all the feedback that I have here. But yeah, I can maybe I can show you something else that you can do with this tool. So let's just go to LinkedIn. And we'll go to jobs, and once here we'll go to this one. All right, and then we'll just grab this here, okay? And this is just to do like a test here, okay? So I want to match the job description and get the skills into my skills list. Oh, and this is on the next. Okay, yeah, this is it's okay. Well, let me remove this. Okay. I was doing some testing here, so I have like a lot of work experience. Let me remove that. Okay, cool. See, so this added some keywords that job had. Like, you have here a lot of things like, wireframes. That's another keyword that I've seen used lately a lot. You have this bleed dialine, where this materials. Okay, yeah, that's not like technologies or anything like that. Okay, this is a bad one. Let's pick a different one. I want one that has, see, this one has like a bunch of skills here, okay? So let's say that you want to apply for this one. So you can do this, just copy the job description, you can just paste it here, and then you can just say generate, okay? And here you can, okay, and here, see, you already have most of the skills that the job description has listed. So you have PHP, MySQL, all of this, Ajax, Code, Igniter, Bootstrap, object-oriented programming. You can remove this one. Some of them you can remove. Relational database, a relational database, you can be like PostgreSQL or whichever one it is. RDS, that's a relational database. So you can maybe, instead of putting a relational database, you can just put RDS or something like that, okay? And yeah, let's just check so that you see. So we have jQuery, Angular, see, jQuery, Angular, Ajax, JavaScript, see, all of them are here. So most of them, or the most important ones. So this is what I'm trying to say. So like if you want to match as many keywords as you can to the job description. Well, let's say that you have Java, right? You only have Java, right? So then you'll match only Java. Where is Java here? So there is no Java here. But like maybe, see, Python. So there's Python. You have Python. I know you have Python. So then you'll match this one, right? But you don't need Python like 5 times on your resume. You can, instead of saying Python, you can be like, developed a web scraper using Selenium, Pandas, I don't know what else, Selenium, Pandas, There's another one that's used for parsing and stuff like that. I don't remember, but you can search it up, and it's just Python libraries. So they already know it's a Python library, and you already have Python. Like here, you have Python here, you have Python here, so you won't have any problems matching jobs that have Python. But what you want to do is you want to have more skills or sub skills that maybe Python has, or some libraries that are popular in Python, because sometimes they say, okay, I want to hire like a web scraper, right? So like if you let's do that. Web scraper, okay? I don't know if that's a position, but let's just do something like that, okay? Where is the? Okay, it's not here, but okay, let's do this. Scripting engineer or something like that. I just want to get to, yeah, so this one, automation, right? So this one, you'll see that, no, that's not the one. Yeah, I'll have to say Python. Yeah, Python engineer, because all of them come here, I guess. Just Python script or something like that. Just want to see what you get here. Okay, yeah, I don't have one example right now. Yeah, I don't have one. Yeah, but basically what I'm trying to say is that maybe some of them say like Python, right? So you'll match for Python, but maybe they have more skills that they require, or more technologies or libraries like Pandas or Selenium or any of them, okay? So then you want to have those keywords as well, so that you can match those job descriptions more accurately. That's the only thing that I'm saying, okay? And yeah, if you want to use this, you can also, add color to it if you wanted to. It's I'm not a fan of colors, to be honest. I would just leave it black and white. You can change the font. I think that's important as well. So I like this one. You can use this one, but it occupies a lot of space. So it's really up to you. And yeah, thank you for submitting your resume. I think that's the review for today. If anything, the two main things here, or the main takeaways, are maybe just add some spacing on all the sides. I would say that's the main thing. And then I think that's the main thing, right? Yeah, that's the main thing. And the other thing was the education, but since you don't have any formal education, but you already have like a bunch of work experience, in great work experience, so you won't have any problems landing jobs. So yeah, I think you're set. You're good to go. Just add some spacing, and then try. You can try this resume. You can try submitting this resume, and you can try submitting the one that has space, and see which one is picked up the most. But yeah, I think that's it. If anyone has any questions, I think it would be now the time to do it. If no one has any questions, I think we can close the live for today, and I'll see you on the next one. Yeah, just don't forget to share with other people, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Appreciate it.